Four words on a plaque going up at a California library have thrown a city into the crosshairs of a political controversy. Those words: magical, alluring, galvanizing, and adventurous. The acronym, AKA MAGA. Underneath those words is this quote: "Through hope and change, our nation has built back better to the golden era of Make America Great Again." Note the references to Obama's Hope and Change and Biden's Build Back Better and, of course, Trump's MAGA. Well, leaders in Huntington Beach approved the privately financed plaque, but not before one man spoke up against it. Watch.
MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA stands for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
That's former NFL punter Chris Kluwe. Police carried him off after he approached city council members. Kluwe says he was charged with a misdemeanor and held in custody for about 4 hours. You know what? Chris Kluwe joins me now. Chris, thank you for joining. Everyone has been talking about this moment, and I'm wondering, why did you decide to take this particular course of action?
Well, first and foremost, it's because the Huntington Beach City Council does not care about the community of Huntington Beach. They've made it very obvious that their goal is to advance their own interests, to rise higher in Trump's sphere of influence. And you can see that by our city attorney, Michael Gates, leaving the city and being appointed to Trump's administration. So that's really a problem when a city council doesn't have its city's best interests in mind.
And why did this particular plaque spur this reaction, more than, say, his leaving?
So for me, it's the fact that MAGA, as I said, is explicitly a Nazi ideology. And they are coming after trans rights. They're coming after resegregation and racism. Like they are tearing down our government because they can only see power for themselves and they don't care who they hurt to have to get it. And I feel that a political message like that is certainly not appropriate on a public library. And let's face it, public libraries, they are apolitical places. There should be no political message on the public library. It's a space for everyone to come in, regardless of your political affiliation.
People have really bristled at the notion of your statement about a MAGA being a, quote, Nazi movement. Some look at this as you painting an extremely broad brush when it comes to describing all of those who supported Trump and voted for him. What's your reaction to those who say that that is a highly offensive decision to even say that that's what you associate MAGA with?
I would say that during the 1930s, there were a lot of very good Germans who trusted Hitler and thought he had their best interests in mind. And so they followed him because they believed that he would do the right thing for them. And then in 1946, there were a lot of very good Germans who had a lot of regrets. And I think right now, there are a lot of good Americans who think Trump has their best interest in mind. But Trump clearly has his own interests in mind, and he does not care about anyone else. And I would rather not see those people have regrets when the bodies stop falling and the blood stops being shed, because they did the right thing now instead of waiting.
You know, I am not somebody who thinks that you're only supposed to be outspoken on election day. You really vote throughout the course of your lives with every action that you take. And yet, the rhetoric you talk about and a lot of the criticism that you have for MAGA policies, they were stated before the election. Why do you think that did not resonate with voters?
Because I don't think voters thought that he meant it. Again, Hitler promised what he was going to do. He explicitly laid out, Jews are the problem. I am going to get rid of them. That will make this country great. Trump has said, immigrants are the problem. Trans people are the problem. We are going to get rid of them, and that will make this country great. And it is very, very similar to what Hitler promised. And it's not going to make this country great. It's just going to make this country worse.
Let me just go back to the moment when you approached that podium. I understand your intention when you're walking up there. I understand you expected that your act of what you say was civil disobedience was going to land you with the police coming to you and being handcuffed. You stopped before you actually reached that podium. But what has been the response to your action?
Overwhelmingly positive.
Mm.
I've had a lot of people reach out and say, thank you for standing up. Thank you for taking a stand. And I've had a lot of people, and I believe this as well, saying, I wish my elected officials were doing the same. And I have a message for our elected officials, particularly our Democratic elected officials, is that I've done my part. I've shown you how to do it. Now it's your turn because you are the people that we elected, and you are the people that need to step up and stop this madness because we have a man who put a crown on his head. And I can't think of anything more fundamentally un American than a president wearing a crown. That goes against everything this country stands for.
Chris Kluwe, thank you so much for joining tonight.
Thank you for having me.